All right, let's just dive right in. Welcome to this rapid fire explainer. We're about to transform standard algebra into your absolute ultimate mathematical superpower. So if you're a student looking to, exponentially scale up your problem solving abilities, you are literally in the exact right place. But here's the ultimate question we got to ask. How do you actually calculate infinite power? Well, before we can even think about conquering the infinite mathematical multiverse, we first need to understand the absolute origin of our strength, the geometric progression. Think of a geometric progression as basically your hero's origin story. It's a sequence that builds sequentially by a set multiplier. So you aren't just adding steps slowly, linearly over time like some standard sidekick. No way. You are actually multiplying your strength with every single leap forward. Because hey, every hero needs a starting power level, right? In the source material, this is known as the first term, AI. But the real magic? That happens with the super serum multiplier, the common ratio, R. This R value is exactly what exponentially scales your abilities from a basic sidekick all the way up to a savior. So, the absolutely crucial point here is knowing how to calculate your strength ahead of time. To predict your exact power level at any future point, we use the nth term formula. You just take your base power A and you multiply it by your super serum R raised to the power of n minus 1. Why minus 1? Because that very first step requires no serum at all. That's how you unlock the future. All right, let's actually step into the arena and see how this builds in a practical scenario. We're going to run a really quick combat training simulation using a past year question pulled straight from our source material. Check out this mission brief. If your base power is 5, and by step 4 it naturally scales up to reach 40, we can actually use our formula to solve for r. So, setting 5 times r cubed equal to 40 means your super serum multiplier r is exactly 2. Boom, you just unlocked a massive power spike. But what if you need to assemble a finite squad of numbers? Well, the sum formula lets you combine their total strength perfectly. You just gather up your terms, you double-check your R threshold to make absolutely sure the denominator doesn't flip negative on you, and then you execute the formula to get your squad's total combined power level. And this brilliantly illustrates the very next level, because the true ultimate ability is calculating the sum to infinity. But huge disclaimer here, beware. This only works if your super serum multiplier is a fraction strictly between -1 and +1. If it's too large, the whole sequence just explodes into total chaos. Take a look at this incredible containment test from our source. We've got a sequence with a massive first term of 80, and it's basically threatening to scale out endlessly to infinity. But we are told its total infinite sum is locked at 60, so we need to find the exact serum multiplier that manages to contain that massive infinite spread. Astonishingly, we can actually calculate exactly what is holding it all back. By plugging our sum of 60 and our base of 80 straight into the infinity formula, we find that 1 minus r equals 80 over 60. When you solve that, it reveals that our super serum r is actually -1/3. Because the multiplier is a fraction that's shrinking the sequence, infinity is perfectly contained right in the palm of your hand. How cool is that? But hey, geometric progressions? They're really just one single universe of sequences. To truly master the mathematical multiverse, we have got to expand our toolkit with the binomial series formula. This incredibly powerful tool allows you to raise an expression to literally any power without having to do all that lengthy, exhausting manual multiplication of a standard polynomial. The source actually makes a really brilliant point here. The nature of your expansion depends entirely on your n value. A positive integer keeps your universe completely finite and strictly contained, while on the flip side, negative integers or fractions, they completely shatter reality, expanding outward into an infinite, never-ending series. Well, we've reached the end of this explainer, but trust me, your hero's journey in mastering series mathematics is really just beginning. Now that you've seen exactly how to manipulate finite squads and contain those massive infinite cosmic sequences, what limits will your mathematical superpowers shatter next? Keep practicing, stay heroic, and keep learning.